Hey Memphis, this is Best in Blue. This show is just like it sounds. We're talking to the best and brightest in the Memphis Police Department. In each episode, we do a deep dive into the various jobs within the department, and more importantly, we do a deep dive into the lives of the very human men and women behind the badge. And now, here's your host, Candace Gray.
Welcome back to Best in Blue, presented by the Memphis Police Department and empowered by Kazukian. Oh, we have got some really exciting things to talk about today. We have Officers Timothy, also known as Timmy Rutherford, and Officer Cassandra, also known as Cassie Leake, and they are here to talk with us today about the D.A.R.E and GREAT programs. The D.A.R.E program is the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, and the GREAT program is Gang Resistance Education and Training. There is so much good information that we are going to share today as soon as we return. Welcome back to Best in Blue. We'll be right back.
Every week, hosts Larry Robinson and Howard Robertson give a classically fresh look at the biggest stories in sports, plus give perspective on what's happening on and off the court and fields. Plus, Hall of Famers, industry giants, and GOATs stop by and give an in-depth dialogue only on R&R on Sports. Catch new episodes wherever you listen to podcasts and get exclusives at Kazukian.com or on the Kazukian app. R&R on Sports.
Welcome back to Best in Blue. I have got Officers Timothy Rutherford and Cassie Leake here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Candace.
How are you today?
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good. So glad to have you here. I am so excited to learn about these programs, and I know that our listeners are probably also very excited to learn about what D.A.R.E and GREAT are all about. So who can tell me just a little bit about D.A.R.E? We'll start there.
Well, D.A.R.E, as you said, is an acronym that stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. The program actually started in 1983 in Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
And I believe that Memphis adopted it in the late 1980s, early 1990s.
Okay.
And we have been going strong ever since.
Wow.
We teach students, usually fifth grade, which is the outgoing grade of an elementary school, life skills. So it's, even though it's a drug abuse resistance program, we don't focus solely on drugs.
Okay.
We do have a lesson on that where we talk about alcohol and tobacco and the gateway drugs, but it's mostly life skills, how to be good communicators, how to report bullying safely, how to be good listeners, which is part of communication. So we have a whole wide range of lessons that we teach them to prepare them for middle school.
Wonderful.
And GREAT.
Mm-hmm.
And the GREAT program is acronyms for Gang Resistance Education and Training. And it's basically, it's for all ages. It has several different components, early childhood development, elementary, middle, and it has a families component as well.
Okay.
But the GREAT program, it focuses on life skills and rebuilding that rapport with the community and with our students, our kids.
Sure.
And we focus more so on the beginning grade of middle school, which is sixth grade. Our focus over the years, we have just kind of narrowed it down to certain ages, which is going to be 10 to 14. But so we use the GREAT program for that middle school as an introduction lesson to the students. That way we will see them there. We'll get a chance to see them in the 7th grade and the 8th grade, but we are focused really tough right there in the 6th grade for them. And that helps us rebuild what we need for the community.
Okay, it's interesting. So the GREAT program starts in middle school. Is there data that says, when the best time to start this type of program is, or, you're not in high school? So talk a little bit about that.
I know the GREAT program, which is sponsored by the Department of Juvenile Justice and many other government entities.
Okay.
They're the ones who wrote the curriculum and designed it to be for the ingoing grade of a middle school.
Got it.
Which is 6th grade here in Memphis.
Sure.
And we have discretion whether 6th or 7th, depending on what the principals of that school may think, well, we think the 7th graders need a little bit more. We may, go ahead and go to the 7th grade. But one of the things that I want to piggyback off what Officer Rutherford said with the GREAT program is all the different components that the GREAT program have. One specifically that we are very strong in is our summer camps. We put on the best summer camp in Tennessee.
Very cool.
As far as with the GREAT summer camp. And what's great is for elementary, we start in 5th grade.
Okay.
Then we go to the feeder schools, which is in middle school for them. And we get the same students in 6th grade now with a little bit twist in the program.
Sure.
And then we get them for summer camp between the ages of or 6th grade before they go into 7th. So they get a triple dose of this, prevention, and it helps us to build relationships. Right. And it's been proven that doing it this way, really, we've seen a lot of success stories because we don't just go in one time and you never see them again.
Well, and you're, like you said, Officer Leake, the relationship part of it, that's what builds the trust and then, makes them, I would assume, you guys tell me, but, makes them more comfortable with coming to you if there is an issue. Officer Rutherford, you want to talk about that?
And yes. And summer camps, when we're in the school with the middle school, of course, we have more kids. So we can't be on a one-on-one basis at all times.
Right.
But with our summer camps, we can break it down.
One-on-one.
Now we can be on a one-on-one basis. And we really get a chance to have that personal interaction with the kid as well. Kids want structure. Yeah. They really want structure. And they really want the adults to make those critical decisions where we're fair, we're firm, and we have fun with them.
Yeah.
And so I think the GREAT program in the summer camp component that she's speaking of, it really helps with that.
That's wonderful. Do the students come, is it every day for a couple of weeks, or what's the structure of the actual summer program?
It's for 1 week. Monday through Friday. Okay. We'll do boys first. So we don't have a co-ed camp. We do boys and focus with them. Officer Rutherford really does a great job in pouring into the boys. So for 1 week, and then the next week we'll do girls. Okay. And then myself and Officer Miles, the other female officer that works with us, we pour into those girls. And we have really deep women conversations about, a lot of them aren't getting that at home. And so we become like their second mom. And we talk about, hygiene. We talk about, boys and just, a lot of
real deal life stuff. Wow.
And if you talk to any parent who's had their child go through our programs, they will tell you just what a difference the programs have made in their child's life. Wow. It's wonderful. I have the best job ever.
And speaking of, you guys have been doing this for quite a while. Can you tell me when you started?
Yes. Well, both of us went through training in 2002.
Woo. Okay.
So 2002. We've been assigned to the D.A.R.E unit since 2002.
Amazing.
And so.
Yeah. And both of the trainings are usually 1 week to 2 weeks.
Okay.
You have to go through the D.A.R.E America training to get the D.A.R.E program to be certified to teach in the schools. And then you have to go through the training, the GREAT program to get the training to be a GREAT officer.
And this is after the regular police academy, so if people are interested, if they want to work with kids, want to pour into kids, this is also a great option for them, right?
Absolutely, it is. I think they have to be in the police car for at least 3 to 5 years before they can go to what we call a specialized unit.
Okay.
So
this is under special ops, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The D.A.R.E and the GREAT programs.
We fall under our organized crime unit because some of their drug seizure money goes towards funding our D.A.R.E program.
That's amazing.
It is. We actually have a Corvette that was given to us through OCU that was a drug seizure car from a drug dealer. So the kids are always like, "Ooh, that's a cool Corvette, Officer Leake. How much you pay for it?" Not a dime.
Not a dime.
Yes.
It was donated
from your local drug dealer.
Right. Oh my God.
So the kids get a kick out of that.
Yeah. And then, this is the educational part of when the police have to arrest someone. The money, we have to educate and pour that money back into our community in a positive way. Sure. So this pays for books and it pays for incentives and material that we may give the kids
Wonderful.
in order for us to, for them to listen to us, for them to feel some type of, I guess, hugness.
Yeah. You're wrapping your arms around them.
That's right.
Yeah, literally. Let me ask you this. Do you guys ever get any resistance? You've implemented the program in some schools. Do parents like the program? Do your leaders at the schools, are there ever schools who say, we don't want the program? You can talk about it or not, whatever.
Unfortunately, yes, we do get a lot of pushback from Memphis Shelby's schools. And it's a lot to do with the pressure they have to have educational time. TCAP scores are important and sometimes their jobs are on the line on these scores. And so they don't want to give up their instructional time. Sure. And one of the selling points that I like to say is, TCAP scores are important. I get that. But if they live in a community where it is gang ridden, drug ridden, crime ridden, what does TCAP scores have to do? They are not going to be able to survive that with just TCAP scores. And so a lot of principals will kind of ponder on that. Some say, no, sorry. But we've had a big influx this year with schools emailing and want the program. Unfortunately, there's just 3 of us.
Oh, wow.
And we can't accommodate them until we get some more officers.
How many schools are you guys in currently?
All of us combined, each semester we're in 9 elementary schools. So 18 total for the school year. Okay. And we're in 6 middle schools for the whole school year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we had more personnel, of course, we'd be able to touch more people and go into more schools.
Yeah. Well, hopefully someone will hear this and, be inspired to join up with you guys.
Absolutely.
I do have one last question and you can answer it when we come back from the break.
Okay.
Tell us about one of the best success stories you've experienced in your 42 years combined. Think about the best, success story where something could have gone one way, but due to you all's intervention, really, that's what this program is. These programs are. So think about that, and we will talk about it when we come back from the break. You're listening to Best in Blue. We'll be right back.
Now you can get me to sing. I love this song. Cheating in the next room.
Cheating in the next room.
Did you hear the begging in those lyrics?
No, I heard that guitar coming in. That thing was crunk.
Blues in the Basement on the Kadzukian Network.
Kadzukian.
Welcome back to Best in Blue, presented by the Memphis Police Department and empowered by Kadzukian. I am so excited to hear about the success stories that you guys have experienced. I imagine y'all have seen a lot in your 20 plus years of being in the schools, but I am so excited to hear about the success story. So whoever wants to go first.
I'll let Officer Leake go on this one.
Okay.
Well, I have several that come to mind, but one of them was a girl named Lillian Lowe. And Lillian Lowe was my D.A.R.E student at Shady Grove, then came to summer camps with me. Continued to stay in touch with her and her mom throughout the years, followed her into high school and just kept in touch. Well, she ended up joining the Marines when she graduated college or high school. And then when she got back from the Marines, she wanted to be a Memphis police officer like me. What? And so I actually got to pin her badge at the MPD Academy. So I feel like it was like my child. Yeah. So
that's going to make me cry.
Yeah. So that was just
beautiful.
That's the first time. Now I've had students that came through the academy too, but none that she was like, can you pin your badge? And I was actually out of town on a business trip and had to come back a day early so that I could do this.
Wow.
So that was probably one of the highlights. And I'm going to tell you one more.
Sure.
Her name is Leticia Avila.
Okay.
And Leticia, I had in D.A.R.E at Berkeley Elementary.
Okay.
And then she went to a private school. We didn't have the great program in the private school, but she came to summer camp.
Okay.
And she came back again to be a role model or a mentor or summer camp mentor. So she came through summer camp, loved it. She's very community, like she wants to give back to the community all the time. And so she was our mentor probably for like 10 years.
Wow.
Anytime she came to all of our D.A.R.E graduations and she does the pledge with the kids.
Okay.
She just had a baby.
Aww.
And I'm the baby's godmother.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, just seeing how the program early on impacted her life.
Yeah.
And then once we stay in touch and be able to, like, the family calls me all the time, especially if they got a police question, went to her college graduation.
Wow.
So we actually do Bible study together on Mondays currently, all from the D.A.R.E program in 5th grade.
Amazing.
And she's now 26.
Oh my goodness. So that's 15, 16 years. Amazing.
Yeah.
Woo. I don't know, Officer Rutherford. I don't know if you can top that.
Well, I'm not going to try.
Okay, that's right. Because
with all due sincerity, I had a lot of success stories, but I'm going to have to talk about my daughter.
Okay.
My daughter, Timberly Rutherford, she didn't get an opportunity to come through the D.A.R.E program, where she did have an opportunity to be a D.A.R.E mentor.
Okay.
And she came through our summer camp with the GREAT program. My daughter really established a rapport with Officer Leake, Officer Miles, Officer Travis, and some of the older officers that we had in this program. She stayed in touch with them over the years.
Okay.
It has been, a real significant impact in my daughter's life.
Sure.
My daughter ended up going to UT Martin.
Okay.
And she graduated like she was supposed to. But the GREAT program, she ended up going to the prison at the time. At the time, we was able to take the kids to the prison system, to the penal farm.
For like a field trip.
For a field trip.
Okay.
And let them experience what jail would feel like, look like, and sound like. That really, really
kind of like that show Scared Straight, was it?
It was kind of like Scared Straight.
That.
But this was more so like a straight talk program.
Sure.
Where some of the inmates or the people that was incarcerated were able to speak to my daughter.
Wow.
And tell her what experience they went through that led them to this life. And it had a big impact on my daughter. Wow. She told me, Daddy, this is something that I don't want. I don't mind making up my bed.
Right.
I don't mind washing dishes. Whatever you asking me to do. And so she's doing well now.
Wonderful.
And that is the success story I would like to talk about.
Both of you all have such personal success stories. And I think that speaks to the trust that you're able to build by being with someone day in, week in, month in and out, How about, and you mentioned, Officer Leake, parents. Are you all also building rapport and relationship with parents of some of the children who are in the programs?
Absolutely. Yeah. We try to reach to the family too. And they know that our, doors are always open. Our phones are always on. So if they ever need anything, we've definitely, when a child gets into trouble, they're going to call Officer Leake or Officer Rutherford to come in and set them straight. So we may go to their house and just kind of have that heart to heart with the child that's kind of going down the wrong path. Sure. So yeah, definitely building that relationship with not only the student, but their parents and siblings as well.
And we've had a lot of parents who have had some shortfalls, and that leads to the kids having the same type of critical incidents that they may have had. I had one parent during the summer camp, she talked about how she didn't do police officers. Like, I really don't like police. But she was there bringing her child to the summer camp. I just wanted to give her a big hug, you know, because I knew she did not know all the aspects of being of police work. And a lot of our citizens don't know that they could just come up to the precinct, meet the police officers that work your community.
Right.
If they don't come to you, you go to them.
Yeah.
You know, and you may not know every police officer.
Sure.
That's never going to happen.
Right.
But
2,000 plus.
But if you just meet the officers that work in your community, build that relationship with them, it will have, you know, we'll have a better result. Of police interaction.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, we've had some other folks who've done some things in the community. I'm thinking of the Hispanic Latino liaison officer, Perea. He talks about, you know, events that they have and just trying to pull people in and say, hey, we're here for you. We're part of your community. And we love you. Like you mentioned, Officer Rutherford, you know, literally wrapping your arms around them so that they can stay on the right path.
And I think MPD is doing a great job with community policing, getting out in the communities. I mean, we have not seen, you know, some of the devastations that other cities have, you know, with the police. We've just kind of had that relationship through, you know, these programs and through our cops unit out there day in and day out, just really building that relationship with our community. So we've been blessed, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that is a really good point because some people, you know, obviously the news, there's shootings, there's carjackings, there's all these things happening. But in the grand scheme of things, it's really not, I hate to say not as bad, but it's real. In some of the cities, it's a lot worse. We'll just say that.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad you guys are kind of helping us uncover some of that. So thank you for that. So what does the D.A.R.E program and what does the GREAT program look like in the future? What can we look forward to if parents want to make sure that their schools have one of these programs? What can they do?
Well, parents can just advocate for the program to be brought into their schools. So if they hear about it, you know, the principal approves it.
Okay.
We've been approved through Memphis Shelby County School District to be in the schools.
Okay.
But it falls down to the principal. So if a parent wants it, they're going to have to, you know, persuade a principal. And like I said, this year we've had an overwhelming request for the programs in schools here, but we just don't have the manpower. So we have to tell them, hey, we've got you down. We know as soon as we get some officers trained, we'll get them sent out there. And we try to go in and do maybe a presentation, a group presentation to help satisfy that. But we really just need more personnel. And so once we get more hired, then of course, then we can, you know, get some the transfers to our unit.
Sure.
And it actually falls, like she said, on the principal. The principal is the one that really makes the final decision. If a school really want the program, or a counselor or teacher, they could also email us as well. They can email us.
Okay, that's good. What's the email?
The email is
our first name.
Our first name.
Dot last name.
At
memphistn.gov.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Cassandra.
Leake.
Leake. And then Timothy. Rutherford.
At memphistn.gov.
Okay.
And if they go to any precinct and say they'll be able to contact us.
Yeah.
So an officer at a precinct will be able to get in touch with us. Not a problem.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I just have one last question for you guys. Man, my heart is just bursting right now. Thank you for the work that you guys do. What are the top 3 things you love about Memphis? I know Officer Leake is not from Memphis. She's from a beach town that I won't name right now. And I know Officer Rutherford is homegrown. So I'm sure he has a lot of things he loves about Memphis. But give me your top 3 things you love about Memphis.
Mine would be barbecue. I love Corky's.
Okay.
I'm a Corky's fan. So Corky's barbecue, you can't top that.
Okay.
And I don't even eat barbecue anymore anywhere else because I know it's not going to be up to my satisfaction. So probably barbecue. the rich culture, the Civil Rights Museum, the Slave Haven, and all the different history behind Memphis, I think is just it's rich. And I would say probably music. Man, my husband and I like to go to BB King's on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon and just listen to local musicians. So that's probably my top 3. Okay. And I love Memphis. I'm not from Memphis, but I love Memphis, and I am a big advocator of Memphis.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, I'm pro Memphis. I love Memphis. I went to elementary school here, middle school, high school in Memphis.
Yeah.
So I like the diverse culture here in Memphis. I like the music. I like all the events, but the main thing I like is the competition in sports.
Oh, yeah.
Memphis is University of Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis Grizzlies, the Redbirds.
He's a Titan fan.
Yeah, and I'm a Tennessee Titan fan, so I like everything about Memphis and Tennessee.
And sports, I love it.
I just like the competitiveness that our schools bring.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Memphis.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, Officer Leake and Officer Rutherford. It was a pleasure speaking to you and getting to know you guys a little bit. Thank you for the work that you do in our schools. Thank you for listening to Best in Blue. As always, we appreciate you for tuning in to learn more about our police department and the men and women behind the badge. Be sure to like us and follow us across all of our social media platforms and listen to the show wherever you stream your podcasts. We're at Best in Blue MPD on Instagram and Best in Blue on Facebook. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
This is Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis encouraging you to join our Best in Blue. Our requirements are achievable, our standards are the highest, and our officers are the finest. Check out opportunities to join our police department at joinmpd.com.